Hello beautiful people and welcome back to a fantastic episode in which we're gonna analyze Lin's design, which is the new Air Force hero. Rework game has just announced it, but not just that. In this episode I'm gonna explain you what will gonna be the best possible heroes to group up with Lin once the hero will be introduced in TOPWAR, which is by the way tomorrow at reset. But first of all, let's go through the hero design, as that will gonna definitely help us to narrow down what heroes would be the best to be combined with Lin. So first of all, pay attention, this is an exclusively offense buffing hero just for the Air Force, giving you a 123% attack enhancement. And by the way, if you are still using the Encyclement units on slot 7 and slot 9, in this case a Navy slot and a tank slot, then those slots will not gonna get this attack enhancement, but they're gonna get something. On top of this, this hero will also gonna give you a 12% regular attack damage boost, and not just that, also on top a 30% vitality effect, and this will definitely gonna play a bigger role when it comes down to the heroes which are working best with Lin. Let's jump now into a very weird passive skill. Why is it weird? Because after 10 regular attacks, exclusively coming from your Air Force units, all your units will gonna get a 10% damage increase, which stacks up to 2 times. Very weird choice. Good, the level 3 exclusive skill of this hero just gives you the usual 30% HP boost. The level 5 exclusive skill looks kind of very interesting. Why is that the case? Because the hero's regular attack damage boost effect is gonna be increased by 33%, and not just that, with the maximum passive damage increase raising now up to 3 times instead of 2 times. Good. Let's have a look also at the level 7 exclusive skill of this hero, which will gonna give you an extra regular attack damage boost effect. And on top of this, also the attack enhancement will exclusively only for the Air Force units will gonna be increased by another 52%. So before we jump into the game, please make sure you use this gift code you see now on the screen in order to get some extra rewards. Now let's jump into the game in order for me to explain you what would be the best heroes to group up with Lin. So before I show you which heroes will combine the best with Lin, let's make a couple of very important statements. As you know, in TOPWAR, a march is formed with an offense buffing hero, absolutely super needed. Without it, the march was simply not going to work. In this case, of course, we're going to have Lin. Then we need a support hero, and then we're going to need a hero with the indestructible buff. Now, of course, somehow I get the feeling that maybe we're going to get the same surprise which we saw with the introduction of Lilia, which together with Jester and Meowzilla actually performs even better than using a hero with the indestructible buff. So what support hero will fit best with Lin? Because she's not only an offense buffing hero, on top of this she's gonna give an extra 12% regular attack damage boost, and from this perspective there are 2 very important heroes. One of them is Barbie, and if you have a look at her skill, that's labeled as a regular attack, so she's gonna get a bigger advantage as support hero. But there is a second hero, which is Mr. Kai, and again you see his attack is also labeled to be as regular attack. So these 2 heroes. But you probably also remember that Lin gives also a vitality effect of 30%, and if we have a look at Barbie, she doesn't have that in here, which leaves us of course with just one single option, which is Mr. Kai, because he also has this vitality effect, which is an extra damage increase. Now from the vitality perspective, we also have to mention the hero with the indestructible buff, which will definitely gonna fit best, and yes indeed, that's Mr. Duke, because his level 5 exclusive skill gives you another 20% vitality boost. Good, so from this perspective, how would this march look like? And first of all, we have to mention that this is the meta of the Air Force right now. From the level 5 perspective, so you have Mr. Brady with Mr. Somshadow and Mr. Abad. From the level 7 perspective, sure, Tigress will gonna be stronger than Brady. And what would be the best setup with Lin to challenge this ignition setup for the Air Force? Let's make a march. So one of these 3 slots is gonna be Lin. The second one is absolutely super easy. That's Mr. Kai. Now, up this moment, we need one more hero. What you can use, of course, is a hero with indestructible buff. We have a couple in game. Of course, we mentioned Duke is the best, but you can use Striker, you can use Shinji if you want to, and then together with Lin. But somehow, again, I get a feeling the goal of implementing Lin in TOPWAR is actually to offer also on top an alternative to the indestructible heroes. In other words, I can also imagine a setup like this, Kai with Barbie and Lin, but also super important to be tested will be Kai with Cranston and with Lin. Definitely going to be super interesting. The last thing I would like to mention in this episode regarding this setup, yes indeed, this is an alternative for the ignition setup of the Air Force, but sadly this alternative was not performing as good as the ignition version for the Air Force, which you by the way see it again here, like this. So from this perspective, it's going to be super interesting to evaluate Lin and to see if this regular attack type of alternative march for the Air Force would perform even better than the ignition. So anyways, beautiful people, if this video was very helpful for you, don't forget to support what supports you back, which is me and this channel since November 2022. And the best ways to support me is to watch my videos, is to subscribe to my channel, share this channel with your friends. Thank you very much for watching, and don't forget to see me in the next episode. Ciao, ciao, ciao.